Warm greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me the later part of the evening hump day. Thanks a lot. Well, more hoopla pertaining to Cash Gurney, unfortunately. I will be bringing you said information. Uh, the source is Patch. After I give my commentary, please hit the link to join the panel. Be respectful of the hostess, the mods, and the chat. No profanity in the chat or the panel. This is a very interesting article. The person who wrote the article was very truthful in their disposition. And basically, they hit on everything that I've said in my past lives pertaining to the kidnapping and death of Cash Gernon. They made mention of all the pertinent things that needs to be addressed pertaining to this child, his brother, the parents involved, the parents' uninvolvement in the children's lives, the caretaker, Ms. Sherrod, her children, and Darian Brown, the relationship between all parties of the Sherrod house and Darian Brown. Actually, where has the father been and the biological mother? And are there several people involved in this heinous kidnapping and death of Cash Gurney? And prayers for Carter Gurney, because he is now without a twin, a brother, friend, and we're going to pray for his safe transition wherever he is. I'm going to pray for him. Thank you so much. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you so much for joining me, sweetheart. I got 21 viewing. God bless all of you. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129, Cash App. All super chats are welcome during the live. I'd like to hear different commentary this evening. I stress that every time I go live because I like to have diverse people in the chat. I like to have diverse people speak on the panel because it's not really a panel if you're just typing in the chat. It's good to hear people's opinions. That way no one can misconstrue what you meant when you type in the chat. People can hear you and try to decipher what it is you're trying to say. So feel free to hit the link after I read the article and give my commentary of the said information. Hello, Kinsley. Hello, Air Force. Thank you so much, Marcella. Hello, Lisa. How are you all doing? Thank you all so much for joining me. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all. We're going to get this on board here. I don't know why this article is not wanting to pull up for some reason. Okay. Patch is the source. Dallas becomes ground zero for the Cash Gernon media circus. A TV journalist muddies the search for truth, and family members score off about who should be allowed to attend the slain child's funeral. 4-year-old Cash Gernon was found dead. Oh, mercy. Now it doesn't want to pull up. Okay. Everyone knows the Cash Gernon was found dead in the middle of a Dallas street less than 2 weeks ago. Since then, there have been far more questions than answers to arise from his slaying. If Dallas wasn't still reeling from the bizarre string of events surrounding the May 15th death, a 4-year-old Cash Gurney, the media circus is pulling into town and adding more heat than light to an already incomprehensible killing. The Gernon boy was found around 7 a.m. dead and bloody in the middle of a street in South Dallas by Antoinette Square, a neighbor who happened upon the lifeless child on her morning walk. Surveillance video at the home where the boy was living shows that he was snatched around 5 a.m. and that by the time Square discovered his body, the same perpetrator seen in the video returning for Cash's twin brother was apparently stowed away and left without the twin. The adult tasked as the boy's caretaker, Monica Sherrod, is not their mother. She didn't report Cash missing until almost 11 a.m. But after reviewing a surveillance video, she did identify the kidnapper as 18-year-old Darian Brown. Mind you, no one has yet been charged with murdering the tyke's death. That could happen at any moment, since forensic experts have now spent nearly 2 weeks with the child's body. Brown's mother maintains Darian is being framed, despite what the camera appears to show. Enter sensational evangelist Nancy Grace. To reverse the light-to-heat ratio, she's been covering Gernon's death on Fox Nation's Crime Stories and told a host at the network that a lot of finger pointing and blaming is going on right now because the father, Trevor Gernon, skipped town. According to some sources, she adds, he did not want to go into court ordered rehab. But after obtaining and examining his arrest record, the TV pundit points out that he had several simple possessions of a controlled substance. Not dealing, not selling, he was a user at some point. Well, that's certainly giving him the benefit of the doubt. Grace gives no evidence for believing the father might be clean and sober now, but instead ticks off an assortment of high profile cases where children were abducted while their dads were at home. I think, says Grace, people are pointing the finger at the father because he's an easy scapegoat. He's got a rap sheet. Thanks, Nancy. She provides a similarly gracious appraisal of Sherrod, who waited an inexplicable amount of time before reporting the boy missing. When the Fox host asks about Sherrod saying that she misses her son and her possible involvement in setting up a GoFundMe account to accept donations, Grace jumps to her defense as well. She had taken them in and given them a home, she opines. Sherrod certainly did take them in, but what kind of home was it? It's common knowledge that if a 4-year-old isn't tugging on your sleeve or bed covers by 8:30 a.m., something is terribly wrong. No, Grace has a scapegoat of her own to attack. Mom is showing up a day late and $1 short, she opines about the twins' biological mother, Melinda Seagroves. It's hard to believe she couldn't find her children. She said she was, here's where Grace puts up air quotes, looking for them. We don't know the truth of it. Well, not knowing the truth of it didn't stop Grace from showing sympathy to the two adults who did know the twins' whereabouts, Trevor Gernon and Monica Sherrod. She also misunderstands what Sherrod's neighbor discovered on his own cameras 10 weeks before Cash was abducted. The image appears to be Brown peering into his backyard, not hers. Sherrod's neighbor, Jose Alvarado, believes his surveillance camera also caught Darian Brown appearing to investigate his backyard. The video was recorded some 10 weeks before Cash was killed. It's really scary, Alvarado told the Daily Beast. I have 2 kids, 1 girl and 1 boy, and they play basketball in the backyard. Grace concludes the interview by saying that once charges are brought, and barring an insanity plea, this will be a capital murder trial. While that's plenty to keep Dallasites scratching their heads about what could possibly be going on, there's more. Trevor Gurney's sister, Ashley Marcoe, posted a video Sunday night that features photos of the twins and is narrated by their father, who attests to his own remorse, but doesn't say where he is, nor does he identify Sherrod as either his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend in the recording. Marco has since added that her brother is still somewhere in Texas and that the twins' mother, who's been reunited with her remaining son, does not want Trevor at their boy's funeral. So now there's a skirmish brewing about how Cash will be put to rest. Requests for comment from Seagroves or her mother, Connie Ward, did not elicit a response. In an interview with the Daily Beast, Marco explained that her side of the family has been trying to figure out how to handle this and see if he can just have some sort of agreement in place to attend the funeral, or at least be able to see Cash before he goes and turns himself in. Let's recap. Most importantly, there's still no motive or murder charge. There's no clarity about what the twins' father told their biological mother about where the boys were. No certainty as to whether their mom searched for them and how actively. How people inside Sherrod's house knew Brown. What her relationship was or is with Trevor Gernon. And who was paying for the children's upkeep. And again, what was happening in that house between 4:45 a.m. and 11 a.m. There are family members giving the interviews, but they're not the ones with firsthand knowledge. And Antoinette Square, the neighbor who discovered Cash's body, is still shaking her head in disbelief. I can't unsee what I saw, she told a Fox reporter. I'm angry. I'm scared. It's really a rude awakening for the entire community. Meanwhile, Dallas police have issued a warning to the public that fake GoFundMe accounts have been established pretending to benefit the family of the dead little boy. Please, said a statement, verify the source before donating. This is by the patch. And this was a very extensive interview, commentary, and whoever wrote it, I'd like to shake their hand because they've touched on everything that I've mentioned in my past lives, because you know the Queen doesn't sugarcoat anything pertaining to a story. I try to dissect everything that's been said by the media, what was said by the people involved in the story, whoever is doing the talking in the story. I chop up everything and I try to put it back together. And as this person who wrote this article touched on all the key points that we have mentioned before in my said commentary. There's no motive. Is there? No murder charge. There's no clarity about what the twins' father told their biological mother about where the boys were. No certainty as to where their mom searched for them or not, and how actively. How people inside Sherrod's house knew Brown. What is her relationship? What was it at the time with Brown, Miss Sherrod? Or is with Trevor Gernon? And who was paying for the children's upkeep? And again, what was taking place between 4:45 a.m. and 11 a.m.? Yes, indeed. And I'm going to throw in one. Did Trevor leave the house a few weeks ago in the month of May, or did he leave in March 2021? Which is it? Let's throw that in as well. And what reason did the girlfriend, baby mama, leave her kids with Trevor? Why did she leave her kids with him and run off? And is it the truth that Trevor left Miss Sherrod, excuse me, because of a charge that he didn't want to face? Because in the end, he was the responsible one for those children, and he left them. He abandoned them. Whether he knew her, liked her, trusted her, it's still the point of he left his kids with this woman, hadn't returned allegedly. Now we're getting contradictory statements from another source that he left weeks before, but yet Miss Sherrod told us through the Daily Mail that he left in the month of March. So what is the truth? Trevor Gernon, when did you leave Monica Sherrod's house? And did you ever plan to return? How about we say that? Ask that question. Did you plan to ever return to pick up your children? How long were you going to stay on the run over a stupid ass drug charge? Because in the end, you were the custodian of those children. Those were not her kids. Sherrod had no right to do a GoFundMe, knowing that the children still had biological family members and that you were the one responsible for the kids, whether you left them or not. Calling a spade a spade. Thank you all for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to the media circus that has now jumped into Dallas, Texas. Nancy Grace has spotlighted Cash's story on Crime Stories. And naturally, other syndicates will jump in and spotlight this case. And we should know Court TV will probably follow suit if they have not already. It's a sad day in America to be discussing the tragic death of a 4-year-old and why anyone would gruesomely kill a child, toddler. Because in the end, there's no logical reason to kill a child. What is to become of this story? What is to become of Darian Brown? What is to become of the Sherrod family? Trevor Gernon and Melina Seagroves and Carter Gernon. Thank you all for joining me. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to the new circus that is going to jump off in Dallas, Texas, now that people that work for the news will be staying in Dallas while this case unfolds. And when will, I guess, the coroner release the child's body to the family? That would be also a pertinent question. Because for some reason, I wasn't even really thinking that the coroner had his body. But obviously, they are working with the decedent to gather evidence, going over evidence that they've gathered, the detectives, and we'll just wait and see what the detectives have and what will also be said pertaining to evidence of the child's remains. Hit the link If you want to weigh in on the kidnapping and death of Cash Gernon and the media circus that has arisen from his death. Thank you all for joining me. Thank the mods who come on board. Thank you, amen. Crazy Horse thinks that the father should come forward. Well, I hope we do find out the whole truth. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Hello, Seven Alive. Hello, everybody. Hit the link. Thank you, Crystal, for dropping the link. You want to give your opinion pertaining to this situation? Join us. It is highly inappropriate for Monica to start a GoFundMe on behalf of the boy. Yes. Well, she did. Day one. Not yesterday, not 2 days ago. Day one. Now, of course, to her defense, she could say what she's going to say. Well, I had them. They were with me. I hadn't heard from the father. I hadn't heard from her. She ain't seen the kids since this long, blah, 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 blah. They had to get buried. But it doesn't matter. So long as somebody is legally related to a human being, that is somebody else's responsibility to bury the dead. And it is your responsibility to try to reach out to those said parties to notify them that the person is deceased, and then they will go from there how they want to pursue burying the dead. Right is right. Yes, the dad on the run so selfish. Well, that's the whole point. I'm not listening to this song and dance of wanting to view the body and this and that, because he already knows that once he comes forward to go to the funeral home, even if they allow him in the funeral home, the police will be right there waiting to handcuff him. Common sense. Pay for her counseling and bug the room for sound. Oh my lord. Pay for whose counseling? Crazy Horse. Who are you speaking of? She should start a GoFundMe for her substance abuse counseling. Oh Lord Jesus. I did. Well, good luck with that. Yes, Lisa. I'm in agreement with you. All parties, to me, are suspect and have failed the children. Because that's the whole thing about perception. What you see, I don't see. What you think is good for a child, maybe I don't think is good for a child. Who you think should be raising a kid, maybe I don't think should be raising a kid. But that's the whole point. People have their children, they feel like they can do what they want with their kids. They can leave them over here, give them over here, place them over here. That's their choice. Who are you to say anything about my decision? But as you see from his decision, we now have a dead kid and waiting on the body to be released and gathering of evidence to see where the evidence is going to lead us to a suspect or more. Pretty messed up, jacked up. So if you think it's just no big deal, who you leave your damn kids with? But all right. Let's just pray you don't have no more damn kids. And leave them with Pookie, Ray Ray, Billy Bob, Shamiqua, Susie Mae. You get my drift. Hello, Huda, how you doing? They knew to take advantage of them, Angie. Okay. Hit the link, you guys. Doesn't cost you a thing, just hit the link. Hello, Notorious. Sad world we are in when you have to discuss the death of a child. It's one thing to discuss the death of an adult, but to discuss the death of a child, especially a heinous death such as murder, there's no rhyme or reason. No rhyme or reason. And it's just sinful to even have to decipher what, where, how, when. And yes, you're going to point fingers because we're all human. We're all flawed. It's what we do. We judge. No one is exempt from judging another person. And yes, if you believe in the scripture, throw the first stone. Well, you ain't thinking about throwing those stones because you already know. You're just looking at what you're seeing and what you're hearing. Hell, it ain't right. And that's the whole point of being of the flesh. You're flawed. You're flawed. But some things are just unacceptable. And abusing and neglecting children is unacceptable. Because there's this saying in the street, if you know better, you do better. I don't know if I believe that, because I believe a lot of people do know better, but they choose not to care. And see, there's where the difference is. Well, I think he shouldn't be saying that on social media about a child being molested because it looks bad on his part. And then, too, we don't know if it's truth or not. So you pass those rumors around and everyone starts running with them like people have done the past couple of days. And it starts a firestorm. He said, she said. So we've got different people, different outlets talking, newspaper allegedly, articles I have yet to see said gossip about this and that. And that's the problem. Why in the world would you even repeat such heinous accusations without, one, a source of who the perpetrator is? You don't come out and say, oh, yeah, he was molested, but you won't even tell who allegedly did the molesting. So what is the point? Then, in the end, you're making your daughter look stupid because the child was in her custody. This is why I keep telling you, sometimes it's best to be quiet. Best to be quiet. Because what you think you're doing, you're making a mockery out of the case. You're bringing disrespect to the child, and you're tainting your own daughter. And her past has been revealed, so a lot of us are not looking at her in a good light anyway. So when you start talking about children being molested, we also have to ask ourselves, well, were other children molested? Did your daughter know he was allegedly molested? What was done about it? What did you do about it? Since you want to be a walkie-talkie on the lie book, I tell you all, stay woke. Thank you, Lisa. Yes, it's very sad. Well, the point is, people allow people around their children every day. That's why we have the problems we have. Because people trust people. Naturally, you don't wake up thinking someone is going to harm your child, molest or rape your child, solicit your child, touch your child, coerce your child into doing wrongdoing. We don't think that people who have children will do these things to their children, but it happens every day. That everything I just named has happened to somebody's child. And it will continue to happen until there is no longer a man and woman on earth. Hello, Keeping People Real TV. Thanks for joining me. We have someone from Texas in the house. Thank you so much. In my opinion, do I think it's the same person? I don't know, baby. I don't know. Sometimes I think it's him, then sometimes I think it's somebody else. Hello?
Hey,
Hello? Hi,
hey,
Miss
Big
Man, where
A.
are you calling from?
Hey, I'm calling from Georgia.
You calling from where?
From Georgia.
Georgia. Okay, I can't hardly hear you. Kind of break it up.
I'm sorry. Let me know when it gets better because I hear an echo with you as well.
Okay. Do you have any other devices on?
Let me jump off and I'll come back in, okay?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Hit the link if you want to bring your opinion to the panel. Please be respectful to the hostess, the mods in the chat. Refrain from using any profanity in the chat or on the panel. Thanks for joining me. I miss you too, sweetheart. Yes, you do. Those are your stomping grounds, Mr. Texas. So you should be in the know of what's going on in your great state. Thank you all for joining me. Hello, Miss Dee Dee. How you doing, sweetheart? Thank you. I'm glad you were able to join us. Thank you all so much. Keeping People Real TV is a YouTuber on the block say hello to Keeping People Real TV. Amen. Thank you all for joining me. I have 102 viewing. God is good. Amen. Please hit the link to bring your opinion to the panel. Tell us what you think. What you think of the circus coming to town, Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas has now been put on the map with foolishness and mayhem. The death of a rapper, up and coming rapper, Mo3, and now death of a Caucasian baby boy. The hell's going on out there in Dallas? Get your mind right. Yes, I am Lindsay. Miss Amanda from Georgia, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on your show.
Anytime, anytime. What do you have to say about this shenanigans going on out in Dallas, Texas, pertaining to the death of Cash Gernon?
Well, I know you always recommend that we look at what and listen to
Thank
what's
you.
not being told, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so the whole tour that the older brother, that the son gave to the reporters in the beginning
Mm-hmm.
really perked my ears up a little bit, only
Mm-hmm.
because, well, why I didn't, because I was looking to see whether or not what's going on with the backyard.
You were looking for what, sweetheart? I
Why
can't hear
would,
you.
yeah, I was looking to see what is going on with the backyard because why would an
The
intruder
backyard.
or
Wait. Slow down.
someone
What?
come in? Yeah, I was looking to see what was going
I
on
can't.
with the backyard.
With the mother, the bio mother?
No, no, not the bio mother. Let me know if you're able to hear me okay before
I
I
can't hear
continue.
you. You're echoing really bad and going in and out. So I don't really understand what you're saying.
Mm, okay, I'm gonna jump off. I'll just put in the chat.
Well, just tell me, what are you concerned with? Just take your time when you speak. Well, she jumped off. Okay. Sorry about that. I just couldn't hear what she was saying. But thank you anyway. Please hit the link if you can. If you joined the stream, please don't have any other devices playing in the background, such as your TV with my show, because it causes an echo if you have your computer and other devices playing the live at the same time. Thank you all so much. And thank you for the super chat. God bless you, baby. Thank you so much. What is going on in Dallas? Are we seeing what we think we're seeing? Are we hearing what we're supposed to be hearing? Who is Miss Sherrod? Who is Darian Brown? Who is Cameron? Who is Trevor Gernon? Who is Melina Seagroves? Who are all these people who have been intertwined into this hellacious story of the death of a 4-year-old and left behind now a twin boy who is now alone without his brother? How cruel life can be. Very cruel. Very cruel. Thank you, Keeping People Real. Thank you so much, sweetheart. God bless you, baby. Yes, another soul gone young, indeed. Yes, Keeping People Real. Would you like to hit the link? Oh, I don't think he's kept up with the story much. He stays pretty busy doing other things. Mr. Long. Okay, that's fine, sweetheart. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. Yes, just recap the information, or I'll send you some of the I'll send you some of the articles so you can keep up with the latest. But just you can go in Google and it'll bring up all the latest stories from the Daily Mail, the Daily Beast, and Daily News, and all the other local affiliates out there in Texas. I was saying that the older brother didn't show us the backyard. Okay, why would an intruder come through the front and not the back? What does the back entrance look like? Okay, Dee. Okay, thank you, sweetheart. Well, but my understanding, the He came through the garage because it wasn't latched properly, the garage door, my understanding. And he broke the door or something in the house from the garage. Okay, that's fine, Keeping. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Well, this happens in every story pertaining to a death or a missing person. I'll show you what I want to show you. I'll tell you what I want to tell you because that's what people do anyway, correct? When there isn't a missing person or a dead baby, I tell you what I want you to know. That's how it's always been. That's how it always will be. I'll show you what I want to show you. And no, they didn't hear anything, allegedly. They couldn't have heard anything, I guess, considering the baby's dead. Intruder came in, got the child, went and handled his business. If we are to believe Darren Brown is the sole perpetrator of this crime, and then he returned like he was gangster, because he's gangster, sure enough. I watched a brief video just now of him peering through someone's car in their driveway. He doesn't have any remorse, it seems to. Going in people's yards and cars and trying to get in cars. He doesn't care. I don't know what his problem is, but he seems to be a troubled soul that he thinks it's okay to be breaking and entering in cars, vandalizing people's properties and peering through people's fences. He's very troubled. And so what we have to ask ourselves is, how troubled is he? Is he just a thief or just a thief that turned into a killer? Which is it? Schizophrenic, perhaps. We don't know, because we don't know him to say what he is. He could be a lot of things. Could be bipolar, could be mentally challenged, could be a lot of things. We don't know him. That's the point I keep trying to make to people when people jump on and ride the ride with people they don't know. How the hell can you say what anybody got going on when you don't even know them? You're just looking at a news story, you're seeing what you're seeing, hearing what you're hearing, and you forming an opinion. And that's normal because you're human. But to act like you know the people and say who did what and who ain't involved, I don't rock like that. I don't put my stamp on anything, because I'm not about to stand and look like a damn fool when I find out that they involved and I done went around telling folks they ain't got nothing to do with it. They ain't did nothing. The hell if I will. Okay, Air Force. Stop it. Cut it out. You see, that's what's wrong with us. We ride the ride with people we don't know anything about. Why we as humans have this tendency to go to war over somebody that we don't even know. To say, I know he didn't do it. I know she didn't do it. They didn't do it. The point is, you don't know anything because you weren't there. And people lie every day about death, about missing people, about harmed people. And how many times have we watched people on TV lie to the camera saying, I don't know anything. I wasn't there. I was at the soccer game. I was out of town. I was asleep. I was over Pookie's house. I was in the bathtub. I was over here. And we later find out they have involvement in the crime. So how in the hell can you ever speak up on a person you don't even know from Adam? Now, one could say friends, family could speak up on a person because they think they know him or her. But in the end, you don't fully know anybody, because we as humans have been highly disappointed by humans. And as the scripture says, God said, if you believe in God, don't put your faith in man, because he will surely disappoint you. Shut up, Queen. So if God told you not to put your faith in man, why the hell are you doing it? Our way. Why the hell are you putting your faith in somebody you don't even know their full government name? You don't know their social security number. They can't even get her actual age right. Come on, Queen. Yeah, I'm that person that will bring it to you. Uncut, raw. No icing on the cake. I'm going to bring it to you real. Because, see, I do what a lot of people don't want to do. Because they scared to be genuine and give their full opinion on what they think, because they worried about being judged because they own this mouthpiece. Queen don't care nothing about that. I got bigger problems to worry about than worrying about what somebody think on the YT. This is a small part of the Queen. It ain't all of Queen. And that's what some of you need to understand about having an opinion. That's all it is an opinion. Doesn't mean it's factual. Doesn't mean it's a spoken word. It's just an opinion. Hello, Karen. How you doing? Do you want to donate to the channel? $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. All super chats are welcome during the live. Thank you all for the super chats. God bless you. God is good. And thank you for favoring the Queen. Amen. How you doing, Lisa? Hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to the kidnapping and death of Cash Gernon, the baby brother who's been left behind without the brother. All the participants who have involved themselves in this case and come forward to now, ding, 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 ring a bell and be heard. Circus has come to town. The media has decided to jump on the bandwagon and carry this story to a national level. Where do you think it's going to go now that all these outlets are going to be talking about the death of Cash Gernon? The who, the where, the why. No motive, no arrest on a murder charge. What will the evidence be? What will the evidence reveal? Will there be more than one killer brought to the forefront? Hit the link if you want to give your opinion. Okay, Lola, stop that. Thank you, Air Force. Thank you all so much. Well, would one of my mods like to give their opinion? Air Force, why don't you come up? You haven't said anything much about what you think about what's been going on with this, the death of this child, and all the hoopla that's now arisen from the parents jumping out of clown cars. It's just so sad to me that every time a child goes missing or found dead, their parents, guardians, they come out, and I mean, they come out blowing the whistle like a rap song. I mean, if I didn't know better, I thought they called Lil Jon to make a song. I mean, I've just never seen anything like it. Everybody's got a story. His mother said he had mental health issues. Okay, as a cognitive behavior therapist, I personally saw a lot of mental health issues. The reason I said schizophrenia, multi-personality, clear symptoms. Maybe, but I don't know. I can't say because we don't have anybody bringing forth what he was diagnosed with. You can't trust people on drugs. I'm glad the news got to this as fast as they did. Yes, finally. Amen. Jennifer.
Hey.
Jennifer, where are you calling from?
Maui, Hawaii.
Ooh, Hawaii, Maui. Bet it's nice.
Yep. Yes, it's wonderful.
Thanks for joining me, sweetheart. Thanks for joining me. I believe I got another one coming up. Hold on 1 second. And then I got Air Force. Hold on 1 second. We're gonna get all of you up here in just a second. Okay, we've got Jennifer from Maui, and we've got Air Force 5 from the East Coast, Maryland. Amen. Hit it, Jennifer. What do you think about now? The news outlets coming to town to report this story, and then you can go in to tell me whatever else you think about the story.
Here we go with Nancy Grace. Anyway, okay, two things that popped up today.
Okay.
Number one, I saw that somebody had taken the FBI photographs of them taking the evidence bags out of the house, and they blew it up, and on it said, "Towel with brown spot found in washer." They obviously don't know how to use peroxide. And then the second thing was...
Listen, Jennifer, slow down.
Yes.
Say what now about a brown spot?
They found a towel in the washer with a brown spot on it. That's what it said on the evidence bag.
Okay. Okay. Well, what's the source? What's the
And
source of this information?
it is a YouTuber,
Oh
and
Lord.
she has, like I said, gone in and blown up the evidence bag, and you
How
can
would
clearly
somebody
see
see
what it says
evidence
on it.
from the bag? Listen, listen. How would anyone
No,
see evidence out of the
they
bag?
no. They write on the outside of the bag, and this is what the bag said.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh
Okay.
Jesus.
Anyway,
Thank
it's
you,
just
Laura.
something that popped up.
Okay.
And then the other thing was, I heard an interview with a lady that lived by the school, and she claims that Cameron and Darian were seen together sitting on the side of the sidewalk after school all the time and hanging out.
Okay. Okay. And where did
So
you get that
hearsay.
information from me?
It was an interview that I had heard on another channel.
Okay. What I'm saying, who was saying it? Who was speaking of this alleged situation?
Okay, it was live, and it was a caller, and she claims to live next to the school that they both go to.
So a caller called in someone's channel and said, I saw these two sitting together at one time.
All the time hanging out, because all the kids hung out kind of in front of her house by the school.
Okay, hello, Lakeisha. Okay, that's fine. Give me your take on the circus that has arisen, the media. That was the source I brought today from Patch. If you need verification for the storyline of this video, the media now has decided to ride in on white horses to discuss Cash Gernon's kidnapping and death. What do you think of this now going national?
The more attention it gets, the more pressure they have to do a good job, maybe. Perhaps.
Do you believe Darian Brown kidnapped the baby?
It depends on his diagnosis, to be honest. Because
no, that's not what I asked you. That's not You know, we don't play them games.
Okay.
That's not
Thank you,
what I asked you.
Okay.
I didn't ask you that.
I believe he's involved. I believe that they're setting him up, and I believe
that's what I want you to tell me. Okay.
Okay.
So you believe Darian Brown has been set up by whom?
At least Cameron, but I don't know the nonsense that was going on. Yes.
Okay. So
definitely.
you think Cameron is involved? Why do you think Cameron is involved?
I know my butts, and that was a white boy's butt and a lock knees. Sorry.
Oh,
sorry. Had to say it.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you again. Why do you think Cameron is involved?
Because he was in the house, he was on the camera at one point. So he has to be involved somewhere, somehow.
Where was he on the camera? Where was he on the camera, ma'am?
In the nursery.
When was he on the camera, ma'am?
Who knows when that was? We don't know when that happened, but he was there at one point. They were using his image.
Listen. I ask you all these questions because I want you to think about what you're saying. So I'm gonna ask you again. What video did you see Cameron on to make you think he's involved in this crime?
I would say the second one in the morning when he walked in, allegedly walked into the nursery. He was in the house.
So the second one is the one where we see allegedly that is Darian, because he looks like a black person walking in the room. The first one you can't really tell. So which one are you saying is Cameron? The first one or the second one?
First one, Cameron. Second one, Darian.
Darian. Okay. Yeah. Once again, why would Cameron want that boy dead?
I only suspect the worst. Sexual assault, covering something up.
Say what now?
Sexual assault, people covering something up.
So you think he touched the little boy and something was coming out about that?
Maybe, perhaps he was trafficking the boys.
Okay. The boys.
You got to pay for your habit.
Everybody.
Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? 3196. Hold on. I'm gonna let Jennifer wrap up. Okay, so you think Cameron is involved? You don't really know why
Yes.
he didn't.
Nope.
Do you think Miss Sherrod is involved?
She has to be.
Okay. Do you think Miss Sherrod had an affair with Darian Brown?
With meth, yeah.
No. See, you do that,
yes.
Jennifer. Don't bring in nothing else. I asked one question. Do you think she had an affair with Darian?
I suspect that, yes, that could be how he was
why do you
manipulated.
think? So why would you? Okay, I'm just asking a question. Just don't get upset or nothing. I do this with everybody. Why would you throw meth in there? You think she only would get involved with a young boy because she's doped up?
That woman did not blink for what, 20 minutes?
I remember that. I know, but I'm just saying in general.
In general,
you think she messed with this boy? You think she messed with this boy? What are you trying to say? You think she had to be high to mess with him? She messed with him because she liked him. She was sober. What are you trying to say? That's what I'm trying to ask you.
I'm saying that it was definitely not like I love you relationship, but it was definitely a manipulation.
Okay, I got you. So, do you think Darian Brown? Do you think Darian Brown will be exonerated?
No.
Okay. Do you think there'll be other arrests?
Yes.
Do you think Darian Brown will tell that there are other people involved if they are?
Yes.
And do you think he'll face the death penalty?
Yes. Yeah.
You said yes? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He's in
Is there
Texas.
anything else you want to add?
Yeah.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. I'm thinking a million things and I'm holding my tongue really hard. Okay,
So is there anything else you want to add to the story? Anything that you thought about, wondered, pondered on?
I think Darren was a high school kid, and I think that he was becoming a young man, and I think he would probably do anything to be accepted, like most young men. And if he was easily, you know what I'm saying, if he didn't understand social cues the way he should, then it wouldn't be hard to manipulate somebody into doing a lot of things, especially at that age.
Okay. Well, let me ask you something. Do you think Darian Brown has a mental problem, or you going to wait to see what he's been diagnosed with?
I'm sure he has a problem. I saw pictures of him growing up, and I've worked with people with disabilities, and you can tell by his body shape that something is not right.
So what? So you saw what?
Well, as he was growing up, you could see how he grew, and in his classes and the way he was, you could tell that he wasn't quite developmentally correct.
Okay, so where did you see these pictures at, ma'am?
I saw pictures. I Googled him and I saw pictures of him growing up.
I mean, I'm just asking you where, on Facebook, on somebody's page? That's all I'm asking.
No, on one of the YouTube channels. They did a collage of who is he.
Oh, have mercy. Okay, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Hot Flower says they would do anything for her. Okay. Trauma bonded to mom through drugs, abusive behavior. She had her kids perhaps codependent on her.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's how it works.
Okay. Okay. So you do believe that he may have some developmental problems?
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this. How do you feel about seeing him on video peering through fences, trying to break in cars? What do you think that's all about?
I think he doesn't understand social norms.
Okay.
I think that he doesn't understand boundaries, and he's had a lot of positive and negative reinforcement that have. And again, he's at a very hormonal stage in his life, so he's trying to be a man. So, I'd have to watch him for a minute and see.
Okay. So when you say be a man, most of us may not think that's really being a man by breaking and entering and peering around.
But if your peers are encouraging you to do something, and it's making you feel that is like a hook, that is a way to get people.
But you see the few video footages we've seen of things, There's nobody else with him doing anything. He's the only sole benefactor of the peering and lurking and trying to break into stuff. There's no other children.
You know, if you notice the things that are criminal, there's always a mask on the face and there's always gloves, and we cannot identify the person, but it's when it's just the lurking and the peeping and that really weird stuff, you can definitely see who he is, and he doesn't cover up. So I'm suspecting maybe that we have a copycat person that's taking advantage of this and making a little cash on the side, breaking into cars and doing things, and it may have led up to this. Who knows?
Yeah, but the video that's being released is, I think, a week old or longer. The people bringing forth the videos, they're not new. No more than a week old.
Right.
Okay.
Again, right hand, left hand.
Well, let me ask you this. What do you think of his parents? Because if this child has developmental issues, there's no way the mother and father don't know that he's been getting into trouble doing something. And I do believe he probably has done something. He's probably been arrested, but naturally all that is sealed because he would have been underage. So do you think the parents are a party to his behavior? But see, we don't know because we don't know the people.
Well, you know, most people with children with disabilities, like, they have a lot of denial and a lot of guilt issues, and that is not good parenting, substance to be working with. So, yeah, you've got a lot going on there.
Okay. All right.
All right, love.
We're making dinner thanks here. For joining me. Okay, that's fine. Thank you for your time. Okay.
Aloha.
Bye-bye, honey. Air Force, run with it.
I'm going to let 3196 go ahead and speak.
Oh, okay.
I appreciate you, Air Force.
3196, where are you calling from, sweetheart?
Hi, I'm calling from Mexico.
Hello, Mexico. Thank you so much.
Hola, hola. So I'm calling.
Hola.
So I was listening to you, and you were asking if you felt that. Okay, so the reason why I feel like the family or the nephew or whatever, the other curly hair guy could be involved.
Yeah, her son, Mr. Rod's son.
Yeah, her son and her could be involved, I think, is because in the interview that he did, he mentioned something about them getting them back about something. I can't remember his exact wording, but that really stood out to me when he mentioned something. It was really brief. He was like, I don't know if they were trying to get back at us or something. That stood out to me.
Oh, because he was giving the reasons why the Darian wouldn't have targeted them. Because he said it's not revenge, it's not hate, it's random.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like it was random because he said what he said about them. He felt like maybe they wanted to get back at him for something, which stood out to me because that was weird. For what, Another
he said it wasn't. That's what he was trying to say. It's not this, it's not this, it's not this. Because he went in like a chronological order. It ain't this, it ain't this, it ain't this. But see, the reason why that's contradictory is because we now find out the boy has been at the house days before the kidnapping and the murder of the child.
Right. And it was in weird hours of the night, right?
Yes. So 4 a.m, 5, yes.
Right. So we know that he may have some type of mental disability, and I believe that he may have gotten caught up with that family, and since he is so easy to influence, maybe they did influence.
So you think you think he's easily to be influenced?
Yeah, I think that possibly he could have been influenced by them, and that they may have introduced a substance to him.
Oh, wow.
That may have affected his. It may have affected him to go down this path, because there's a reason he went back to that house.
Yes, it is. I do believe that. Yes, I agree.
And we can see that they do have that there is a history of drugs. Okay.
Yes.
So
yes, that's
I'm thinking
that
that
he
may have been influenced, and they may have like given him a drug or the drug or whatever they were doing. They might have something might have happened where he was like, yeah, I'll give you some of this drug, and then he never gave it to him, and that's how he went back and got revenge somehow on the child. You see what I'm saying?
Oh my God, good Lord of mercy.
So that's what came across in my mind.
Okay,
That's
but
the
let me ask
reason
you
why.
this.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
That's the reason why I said that, because he was up at random hours of the night trying to break into people's car. I'm guessing to maybe look for more drugs, or maybe he was
that's
he
true.
was under the influence.
Because a lot of people who break in, they do have drug troubles, drug addictions. Not
Yeah, in
all,
that
but some.
neighborhood, or maybe he was just high and that's what came to his mind and to do. So we don't really know what to think, but he was out late at night.
Yeah, too late. 5 in the morning is definitely
it's too late. That's like
junkie
tweaker
behavior.
hours. That's
That's
tweaker
tweaker hours, sure enough. Because there's no way anybody should be up at almost 5 o'clock in the morning doing nothing if you ain't going or getting off the job.
Exactly. And so we can tell that I'm not trying to be judgmental or whatever, but we can tell the house has been run down, and it looks like a few people have been in that house.
Yes,
and,
I'm sure.
Yeah, in and out of that house just because of the condition of the house.
Yes,
so I'm
it looks
thinking that,
bad.
they probably had because he was he did well. I believe I saw that he had mental issues somewhere, like he was in a program or something like that.
Metro Services. Metro Services is an organization in the North Texas region that services people with schizophrenia, depression, autism, developmental disabilities, other few issues.
Yeah.
But it is
So
an organization.
yeah. And I believe that he did because they know each other from the neighborhood, and I believe they hung out. He probably got introduced to that mess. Something happened where they were probably supposed to share drugs or something, and it didn't go the way he wanted, and that was his like immature way, or the way of like getting back at him for not like maybe coming through with the plan. Because like I said, like I know he was stating his timeline, right? But when he said, I don't know if it was to get back at us or something, I don't remember how he said that, but that immediately
what he was saying, was he was telling the news people, it ain't this, it ain't that. He's saying it like he knows why.
Yeah.
That's
so maybe
probably what you mean. Because the way he was saying it, it's like he knew, well, it ain't this, it ain't this, it ain't this. He didn't do it for this reason. He didn't do it for this reason.
Yeah,
we ain't done that to him, so he ain't did it to us for revenge.
Yeah, it just kind of sounded like some little what do you call it? What's that word? It's like when somebody accidentally tells the truth.
It's sober thoughts. It's sober thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. Like a Freudian slip.
Yeah. It's what people do all the time when it's called lying. Is what it's called.
Yeah, and I believe that he was really easily manipulated, and yes, there was drugs that were part
so you think drugs are involved with him? You think he was? You think he's been given drugs, and that's why he's lurking and peering in cars and robbing people?
Yes. I believe he tried it, and then it just went on from there.
Okay. So, do you think there'll be other arrests?
I believe that there will be other arrests, and the reason I'm saying that is because the father of the two boys was on the run. I don't know if he still is on the run or whatever.
Yeah.
So there is that kind of like, I know that has nothing to do with that family, but I feel as though it is possible that they could get, like there could be more arrests, you see. But
so you think there's other people involved? Let me ask you that. Do you think there are other people involved? If so, whom?
No, I don't think there are other people involved. I believe that it was all Darian. I believe that he was high.
Are you really? Okay, you think he was only Darian and he's under the influence of drugs?
Yeah, I know a lot of people are saying that there was somebody recording in the background over there by the thing. But if I were to put my cell phone with the light on over a little thing like that, it would be way brighter than that little that they're picking up.
Well, let me ask you this. Since you think that he did this all by himself, I want you to think about what I've said on my channel and what I'm going to say to you right now. Are you listening?
Yeah.
People are coming forward saying that they've seen him in the neighborhood walking around, lurking, but never did anyone say they saw him get in a car. So I'm going to say this to you. On the night, early morning rather, that he took the child out of the house, if we're to believe that is him in video 1, how did he get the child to the location to be dumped?
He carried him.
8 blocks?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like when you're high, like you can go fast anywhere.
Okay, but think about what you're saying now. The child is dead at some point.
Okay, so you're basically asking me at one point, did he kill the child?
No, listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
If we're going to say that he kidnapped the child, he had to have taken the child out of the house to what? To where? In what?
Yeah, that's a missing
8 blocks down.
Yeah, that's a missing
okay, no, but that's why I tell you to think when you come up with an assumption or something, you have to follow through. So if I'm going to believe he killed the kid too, what and where, in what did he take him in? I'm to believe he walked 8 blocks with an alive or dead kid. So if he had him alive, he carried him.
Yeah, I believe that. Well, first of all, it was nighttime when he went to get the child, right? It was nighttime.
Early morning. It was wee hours in the morning.
It was dark though. It was dark, and so nobody's outside at that time, or no.
A few blocks. Listen at me. Listen at you all. Y'all not listening. A few blocks is 2 blocks. 3. 8 blocks is past a few blocks. I don't think any of you even know what it is to walk 8 blocks. Have you walked 8 blocks before? Have you ever carried 5, 6, 7 bags of groceries 8 blocks? Now, imagine carrying a baby 8 blocks. And then he's not an infant. He's a toddler.
I understand. May I please finish?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying.
No, I know. At this point, we're kind of all have assumptions here. There is no right or wrong answer, and we can just like express what we think happened. And I totally listen to your opinion, but I think that he took the child. The child was barely up, right? The child was barely sleeping. Mind you, he does recognize Darren because he's seen Darren before, right?
So you do think that the child knows him?
Yeah, I believe that the child knows him. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that he knows him, and that he might have told the child, "Hey, we got to go here real quick. Come with me." Or and the child be like, "Okay," because he knows this person. He knows he's seen his uncle or whatever, the mom, interact with him before, so there's no reason to be scared. And that's one way he might have done it. And he might have also covered the child's mouth. You know, he might have also done that. But I really believe that since he knew the child, that the child was like, "Hey, where are we going?" And he probably was like, "Hey, come with me. We're going to go here. You got to walk kind of fast or whatever." Like, I can't really say what happened, but I do believe that he did know the child and the child didn't know him. Yes.
Okay. So you're saying in order for this to go on this way, while somebody in the chat trying to tell me 8 blocks ain't a lot. Well, I know a lot of people don't want to walk 8 blocks. That's all I'm saying. And they sure the hell don't want to carry a child for 8 blocks.
I understand, but adrenaline has a lot to do with it. Maybe drugs has something to do with it, and also maybe also because the child did know him.
Okay. So you basically saying you believe this is
did you have another question to ask? Because
no, I'm just trying to make I'm just trying to help you with your point.
You mentioned it.
So say what?
I said I appreciate that you asked me that because I didn't even think of that until just now.
About what, baby?
About when you said, how do you think what happened between those 8 blocks?
Yeah, because that's what I try to make people understand. I don't try to come off rude, but I want people to think about when you just say they took them somewhere. 8 blocks. whether he was in shape or not, it's still you're talking about carrying a kid. So that's why I'm trying to get people to think about that process.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that they might have been. He might have also walked fast. He might have been like, because the way he carried him, he didn't carry him to like carry him. He kind of looked like he carried him.
But you see how he handed him off? It to me, the way he looked, he handed him face forward, the way you would hand your baby to somebody if they boo-booed on themselves. You know what I'm saying? Hello? Well, she fell off. Okay. Air Force, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm here.
Okay. Hi, family. How y'all doing? Anyway, my thought is that
I never said it wasn't hard to carry a 4-year-old. Stop, y'all. Don't play the queen, okay? Don't play me. I'm just trying to get you to think about the blocks itself, because every block is not the same as a block in New York, may not be the same distance as a block in Dallas. Do you understand what I'm saying? And when we look at how he picked them up, if we're to believe that's Darian, he picked them up as if he was handing him to somebody, because I've never seen anyone pick up a baby like that with their face headed face out, not toward me. You understand what I'm saying? Hello?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, you picked up a child. You picked up your child before. Did you pick her up that way with her head?
Never.
The back of her head facing your face?
No.
Okay, thank you. Damn.
No. But I think that that young man had help.
Okay.
He spent too long in that room for one thing.
Okay.
He looked at that camera between 6 to 8 seconds.
Okay.
He looked directly at it. Whether there was a coach, meaning Cameron, in the room with him, that could be possible.
Okay.
As far as the reason for death, could be jealousy. Maybe jealousy, maybe. As far as carrying that young child, depending on the weight of the child, 8 blocks. I saw the blocks, and as you said before, there are not Baltimore City blocks. They are not New York City blocks. They are not Washington D.C. blocks.
Yeah, that's why. Some people in the chat are saying it was a smaller distance, because when I looked at the map too, it did seem shorter than 8 blocks. But like I said, up in the air may be different than actually being on the ground. So I can't say, because that's the whole point. I'm not there. I'm not in Dallas, Texas, and I can't say verbatim what the distance is. I think you said something about you counted the walk itself, because you can Google how many minutes it is to walk from this place. Google will give you a timeline.
Yeah, 9 minutes.
Either by walking, car, or bicycle. You can get that percentage.
Yes. By car would be about approximately 4 minutes. By walking, approximately
4 minutes by car? Okay.
Yeah, and approximately 9 minutes by walking.
Okay.
This case is, to me, similar to Out West.
Okay.
Monica being Trezell and Cameron being somewhat of a Jackie.
Yeah.
But in this case, they do have at least one suspect. I feel that there's many more to come. Cameron and Mr. Brown not only went to school together, but they play sports together.
Okay.
Could Cameron and Fruit?
And what source did you get this from?
Daily Beast and New York Post.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. What was I going to say?
So much to remember.
Cameron could have manipulated Mr. Brown in helping him.
Yes.
Dispose of that child.
Okay.
Now,
and why would he do that? Why would he think that Darian would help him do that?
Because maybe of a weak mind. And if he wanted to be his real buddy, you know, he would do this for him, do that for him.
Yes.
It's going to come to a point where there's going to be at least 2 to 3 more people that's going to be arrested for this death of this little young man. I feel that in my bones.
Okay, I'm going to read something that Seven of Life said. Turn your background down, baby. Seven of Life says, the lady that lives in Dallas drove through there on a live. It would have been a long walk, is what she's saying.
Yeah. Yes. I saw that video.
Okay.
Yes. I saw that neighbor drive through the alleged route that he would have taken, because there were no.
Because it's common sense, walking and driving is 2 different things.
Yeah, because there is no alley. Actually, there is, from the way that I saw the video and the way that some of these neighbors had their fences around their yards, I didn't see basically a alleyway, so to speak. Okay. So I'm thinking that as far as trash is concerned, they would have to collect it from the front.
Okay.
Somebody has said something about the rear of the house. I haven't seen.
Why didn't he show the backyard? What's your background? What are you talking on? Your phone?
No, I'm talking on the computer.
You love that computer. I told you it's clear on the phone.
Well, I told you before, I'm not going to be able to do YouTube on my phone. You know why?
Why not? Oh my God. Okay.
You know.
You can if you did the way you went in and changed. It's the same way.
Okay, I'll do that next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he don't sound okay to me, Crystal. I'm up here. It's a different sound. That's like you trying to tell you all. What I hear and you all hear is not the same.
Somebody is going to talk, and I think Mr. Brown is going to be the talker.
Okay.
You know.
Let me ask you something. What do you think of his parents? Do you think he was raised properly?
Wow. Maybe they tried.
Okay.
Because some children you can teach, they'll learn from you.
Mm-hmm.
Some children just don't have that ability to learn what's being taught properly to them.
That's true.
You know, because they say, well, I'm going to go my own route. I'm old enough to go my own route. And so that's what they do. And that's when they find themselves in trouble.
Yes. Well, they can do that because that's the whole purpose of identity. You can do what you want, even at 4 or 5.
Right.
Doesn't matter if I tell you to do this. Doesn't matter if I threaten to whip you, whoop you, punish you, however it goes. In the end, you will do what you want to do.
That's true. But every time I saw my mother and my grandmother would have coming from the yard with a switch, I'm not going that route no more.
I got you. And that's what I was going to say, that sometimes children, once they see the fear, the threat coming from the parent, they say, I ain't going to go there. But then the flip side is you have a child who will say, I ain't worried about a belt. I ain't worried about your cussing. I ain't worried about a switch or nothing else. Bring it on.
Yeah. You know, so and again, as far as Trezell and Jackie, Trezell, he opened up his mouth and he snitched on it. He snitched on him and his wife.
Okay.
Monica told on herself by doing. First of all, I believe this wholeheartedly.
Well, what did she do? How did she tell?
She told on herself by coming forward, doing an interview, being high.
Okay. Yeah. She should have scratched that part altogether.
For real. Got herself together, then do an interview.
Yes.
You know.
I looked at her. I said, she turned her head from the camera and said, "I can't do this." I said, "This heifer is a hot, sweaty mess."
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I thought.
You know, so I believe there are going to be a lot more arrests coming once they start pulling these people up in that office and putting them in that nice quiet room. You know, give them time to think. You know, give them time to come up with some kind of a lie.
Give you time to lie.
You know, and then
well, I think that's already been done. I got a feeling that's already been done.
You know, and give them a polygraph if they take one.
Okay.
Because they don't have to, but I would offer and say, okay, between you and I need to be sure that you're telling me the truth. Okay. I need to be sure that I can trust your word. So please do me the favor, not just for me, but for yourself. Okay. Do this favor and just go ahead and take the polygraph, and then we'll get this all over with, and you can go home, feed your.
Well, that's a good way to word it. That's a great way to word it. But most people are smart enough to know what a polygraph is. So.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And if they know they're lying, they already know I ain't getting ready to take this polygraph.
Yeah, and then if you have a good detective, a good investigator, a good talker, a good conversationalist, okay, they can look at you, at your eyes, your mouth, your body movement, and tell that you're lying. And actually can tell that you're lying. Okay. You know, because of the years that these young ladies and these young men have put into investigating crimes. Okay. You know. So
what's the motive?
The motive? See, that's a hard one for me. It could be the jealousy part of Cameron not getting that affection that he seeking from his mother.
So do you think he wasn't getting affection from his mother?
He may have, but maybe not as much as she was giving to the twins.
Boys. Yeah, of course. So you think possibly she doted on those boys more than her own children?
I think she did.
Okay. Because considering she was saying those are her boys, that would be quite offensive to somebody else who's a biological child, depending on their security within themselves.
Yeah, yeah. And then
the relationship with the mother.
Yeah. And then my other part of this story is you've got dogs in the house or even in the yard. Okay, let's put them both in the house or in the yard. And somebody's going to come to a garage door and use a screwdriver or whatever type of tool he used to open that back door. The dogs are going to bark, period. You know? And them being in another section of the house.
So what you saying? So what you trying to say? The dogs knew Darian. Lord have mercy.
The dogs may have, because he has been there before.
Okay. Yeah, Moon Rain. That's what you're saying. Yeah, dogs.
You know.
Every day something extra added. Dog, cat, parakeet.
You know. And the thing about it is, Cameron could have removed those dogs and placed them somewhere, okay, somewhere where they would not bark, possibly. You know. And then my thing is this.
Okay.
You've got two small toddlers in that stupid looking daybed, I call it.
Oh Lord.
Okay. Instead of their own beds beside each other, or even
twin beds. Yeah, bed. At least two day beds or two twin beds, something.
Yes. And they're in another part of the house.
Yeah.
You know,
that spoke volumes, and that's what she don't realize. That told a lot about who she is.
Yes.
In difference to what she's portraying herself to be. Now, some people may say no, but I say yes. Seeing the room, seeing how unkempt it was, it looked nasty to me. The house looked nasty to me. The fact that the room was obviously far away from her room, it contradicted this alleged love affair, or whatever she's trying to portray herself having with these kids, this wonderful love of these boys. It told me you didn't really like them that much because you wouldn't even put them close to you. Okay, I'll wait.
Now, let's say this, hypothetically, just hypothetically, what if Monica was messing with those boys?
Barbara, keep the YouTubers' names out my chat. Don't do that. Don't come in here with that. Don't do that. So I'm not going there.
Yes, Miss Kelly, leave YouTubers out of the Queen's chat, please. We don't do that over here. We don't bring up other YouTube
whatever
chats.
they're talking about. Let me tell you something. The Queen gets wind of everything that goes on YouTube. I told you all before, I'm not interested in nothing that goes on anybody else's channel. I don't want no parts of no he said, she said. So don't mention their names in the chat, because when you do that, you are stirring up controversy. Because all it takes is for one person to go out of the chat and say, everyday shenanigans said, and I know I ain't said nothing because I'm not interested. I don't care. I'm not interested of what anybody has to say about anything pertaining to Cash Gernon, this case, the participants in the case, Cal City, or any other case. Everyone is their own entity. Everyone runs his or her channel the way they see fit, their commentary. Everybody do their own thing. I don't have a dog in the race pertaining to anything else going on except for on this channel. And I don't need the negativity.
Miss Angela Gardner.
That's okay, Barbara, but it'll get stuff started. I mean, I don't know if you know, but it gets stuff started.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Miss Angela, I call it a daybed because that's what it reminds me of, you know, converted crib and all of that kind of stuff I don't know about. It just reminds me of a daybed.
Okay. Well, my thing is, it's sad. Just the whole setup was sad.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You know, besides the death of a child, but two babies in a farm room that looks like a living room, a makeshift living room. That room looked cold to me. That's the word I'm looking for right there. Cold.
Yes.
It was a cold room. And then when you watch Cameron take the reporter through room after room, all of it was makeshift, going through sliding doors. I was looking like, what the hell is this?
Like a maze.
Crazy. Yes, a maze. Amen. Thank you. A cold maze.
Yeah. Yeah. So I hope the police gathered not only the camera, the one that was on the wall, but also the one that may have fell or have been taken down, you know, that was next to the window, next to the crib, converted crib or whatever.
Yeah, that's what it was.
On the floor. Yeah. So I hope that they retrieve that camera also, you know.
Yeah.
But I agree. Yeah,
no
but right. But I agree with you, Queen, you know, that the word of God did say, trust no man.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, so I don't put, I only did that one time in my life, and I wore my heart out on my sleeve at one point, you know, and it was taken off my sleeve and squished, the blood came out and all of that kind of stuff. So I stopped trusting people.
Right.
You know.
And it's a terrible way to live. It's a terrible way to live, not to be able to trust people. And you don't want to think the worst of people, but I just use my better judgment when it comes to cases such as this. We're not talking about Pookie across the street needing a damn cigarette or ride to the store. We're talking about missing people, missing children, dead people, dead children. When it comes to that, once death has entered the equation, I'm looking at everybody's side eyes. That's just who the Queen is. Okay. I don't have to say anything to you directly. I don't have to say anything about them even on the channel. But I can say something don't look right. That doesn't mean that I'm saying Pookie did this, Ray did this, Susie May did this. I'm saying something doesn't look right. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that it could not be right. It's just my perception.
Yeah.
My perception. And some people out here don't want you saying anything because they don't think that way. Well, you're entitled to your opinion, but you can't tell another man or woman how the hell to think about a story. And if you want to walk out here and think that somebody ain't done something to that kid or kids in the house, you crazy. Because every time you watch these stories, 9 times out of 10, it is somebody in the house that did something to the damn kid. So where the hell you from?
Yes.
You know, come on. Let's call a spade a spade. Stop walking around like you got on rose-colored glasses and you don't want to accept the fact that somebody in that house could have aided and killed that kid. I don't give a damn what somebody sitting up here saying about they love somebody. Yeah, all them husbands that kill their wives, that's what they said too when they went missing. I love her. Oh, we may have had a little spat, but I love my wife. And she's somewhere ducked off, buried somewhere, and he living his best life because guess what? Ting, she gone.
Yeah. Miss Letitia, we don't use other YouTubers' names in the chat. Thank you. But that is just my point of view on this whole situation. You know, it reminds me of the California desert lizards.
Yeah, well, it's because it's murky. Because what it's showing is what the point I've been trying to make. You don't know the people.
Yeah.
And when you start seeing the people talking, that's when all the bones start flying out the damn mouths. And the closet doors start opening up, and all the mud starts sliding from underneath the damn doors. And then everybody's sitting up like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, of course you didn't know that because you don't know Pookie. You don't know Ray Ray. You don't know Laquan. You don't know nobody. Because you wasn't supposed to know them because it wasn't supposed to make the news. Quit playing.
Come on. Come on. You know, so
it's just ridiculous.
And everybody's trying to check on this Mr. Brown's record and all of this kind of stuff. And they have the Bio Dad's record, and they have Monica's record. Okay, that's a good question. Who asked that question? I think it was V. I think it was Miss V. You know, did they pull up or check to find out if Cameron had a record?
He's coming out of the age of being a child, so you're not going to have anything on Darian Brown.
No, I'm talking about Cameron.
Okay, but I'm talking about Darian. You got to remember, he's 18, so anything he's done would be sealed.
Yeah.
As a child under the age of 18.
Yeah, but that was a good question, Miss V. Well, Mr. V, Miss V. You know, good question. But it might come out in a couple of days or a couple of weeks, I guess, about his record, if he has one. You know. Yeah, but Queen, I thank you for allowing me the time. And I thank the chat.
Listen, so who all do you think is involved, if indeed you think there's somebody else involved? Do you believe Darian did this crime?
I think he may have did it with someone over his shoulder.
Okay, who's that? Who's over the shoulder? You have to tell me who.
I'm thinking Cameron.
Okay, why would Cameron want to? Once again, why would Cameron want to harm this child?
Jealousy. I'm just thinking pure jealousy, or maybe, or either maybe he touched the child.
Okay,
and,
so you
and not Mr. Brown.
So you all going to run off the rumors from Facebook that you of this child molestation?
These are just thoughts. These are just thoughts. You know,
just asking.
Yeah. Okay, just thoughts. You know, but everyone, yes, Ms. Huda, everyone is a suspect, and I wholeheartedly believe they are. You know, and
but you got people who think that some of these people aren't suspects, and nobody should be saying anything about them. And I'm looking at a person like, you don't even know these people, so what are you saying?
I saw that.
I don't argue with people like that. That's something we're gonna get from the Queen. I'm not going to argue with you about somebody that you don't know and I don't know, because I don't rock like that. Anybody that truly knows me will tell you, Queen ain't gonna never just sit here and argue with you about a random damn stranger, because in the end, everybody in this story is a stranger to Queen.
Amen.
They are a stranger to them damn selves. Come on with it. And they are stranger to the people in Dallas, Texas. They are stranger to Nancy Grace. They are stranger to Court TV. They are stranger to all the news outlets that's standing out there trying to get the 411 and get their name in bright lights. These people are strangers. And if you want to ride or die with a stranger, you go on and climb your ass down in the abyss if you want to. But I tell you what, when you get through working up down in there in that belly of that beast, you may not like what you find.
Hey, because it can backfire on you.
Amen.
You know, what they say in church: trust and believe.
Amen.
You know, trust and
See,
believe.
let me tell you something. There's a reason why he called it the abyss in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You get my drift?
Yeah, I got it.
And see, some people don't really understand what the abyss is.
You know, but
so my thing is, you want to climb your ass on down in there? Go and get in there.
Yeah, I got that when I first heard it. I said, okay, all right, I know where that's coming for and coming from.
So you want to climb in the abyss with a stranger? Go on in there. You see, because Queen getting ready to get real stupefied with you now. You see, it's the abyss that got us where we at right now, talking about it on YouTube. Shut up, Queen.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's the abyss that got that baby stole. It's the abyss that got that baby bludgeoned to death. Come on, Queen.
Come on.
It was the abyss when somebody decided they wanted the baby dead in the first place. Come on, Queen.
Speak it.
It's the abyss when you decided to lie about the baby's death. And yet you, a stranger, want to jump in the abyss?
Mm-hmm.
Eyes wide shut. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That part. So go on down in there. And I tell you what, while you're down in there, pray that somebody will carry you out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Christopher Columbus thought the world was flat.
Well, guess what? He come to Tennessee and he sure enough be mad.
Mm-hmm.
Because it ain't nothing but rolling hills here. Shut your mouth.
Come on, man.
Did Monica's dad say Cash was being molested? Maybe Cameron was doing it and someone found out, so he had to make it seem like Darren did it because everybody knew about Darren's behavior. Don't know, Corliss. I don't know, man. Look, Crystal's stupid. I'll give him a ladder, but I won't be following.
That's my auntie.
Look, that sounds like something I would say. You look, I got your rope. Look, I got you some rope. And when I drop it, I'm gone. You on your own.
Hey.
Hit the link. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to the kidnapping and death of Cash Gernon.
Thank you, Queen.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Chad, for letting me take up some of y'all's time.
Baby, you all right. Hit the link if you want to join the panel, give your opinion pertaining to the death of this child, the news frenzy that has exacted upon Dallas, Texas. There will be, I'm sure, many outlets covering the story, local and national. What will become of Dallas, Texas? What will become of the people of Dallas, Texas, living in fear now? Because how could you not live in fear after hearing of a child being bludgeoned to death? Nothing will ever be the same. Now, of course, in time, you'll move on about your day and your way of living, and you'll soon to forget about a baby boy who was kidnapped and bludgeoned to death and discarded in a public street. And then there'll be another Cash Gernon. And then there'll be another Cash Gernon. Because people are wicked. People are evil. And as soon as you digest one horrible story, another one pops up. That is the world that we live in. It is a sad world. But it's the truth. It is the truth. Thank you all for joining me. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to this devastating story, horrific, heinous, vile story, the death of a 4-year-old toddler out of Dallas, Texas. If Monica's parents knew Essay with anyone in the house, they should have called. Yes, they should have, Miss Dee. That's my whole point of why I tell you all I don't like going to Facebook, because it's just what it is, the lie book. You a fool to sit up there and be talking about somebody being touched on Facebook. That is not the place to talk about your personal problems, your family problems, who you mad at, sexual allegations, sexual assault, rape, child molestation. That is not the damn place for that. Because what it shows, you either clout chasing or you know something and you rather sit up and gossip about it on a damn book than go to the authorities and give the 411 and go somewhere and sit in a corner and be still and let the chips fall where they may. Angela Garner, some kind of depression and rage is going on, especially on our poor children. Yes, thank you for the support, everybody. If you want to support the Queen and the channel, $Big Angie 129 Cash App, and all super chats are welcome during the live stream. Thank you all so much for the donations during the live, the super chats. God bless all of you, and thank you so much for supporting the Queen and tuning in to my lives. I really appreciate the support. I've got several new subscribers this week. Yes, things are looking up, amen. Why do we think the boys were being molested? I don't know if they were grooms. Let me tell you this. The Queen don't support no gossip. I mentioned the storylines. I mentioned a few things that have been said on social media, but as I always tell people in the chat, I have no receipt to any allegations of sexual assault, rape, child molestation of any of the said children, the decedent, or any of the other children in the Sherrod house. Because I think it's vile for anybody, as I said, to go to Facebook saying anything about child molestation, because that is not the place for that type of talk. It came from Sherrod's father, allegedly. I have not been to Facebook to read any of his commentary. Yes, thank you, new subs, subscribers, viewers. If you're just dropping in, thank you so much for listening. Hit the link if you want to be a part of this live discussion. I'm 1 hour and 37 minutes in. I'd like to top out by no later than 2 hours. So if you want to hit the link before I check out of here to give your opinion pertaining to the Circus Act that is now stemming out of Dallas, Texas, involving the news of this new hot story burning out there in Dallas, Texas, pertaining to a 4-year-old child, please hit the link. Oh, Amy, that's okay. I'm just letting you know that people in the chat said it came from the father, allegedly. He was speaking about it on Facebook. So as I stated, I don't have any verification that it is true that anybody was being molested. And as I said, that's just not the place for that type of allegation. Because in the end, like I said, it looks bad for you to even speak on that. Because what it says to the public is, okay, well, if you heard about it or you act like you know about it, why are you talking about it on the lie book? How long has it been going on? Which kid was molested? Who's the perpetrator? It's foolish talk. It's heinous and it's foolish talk. There was a side-by-side picture done and the person in white is Cameron. Okay, Karen. I thank you all for joining me so much. Crystal, would you like to come up and say something before I check out of here? You've been mum on the microphone this evening. Is there anybody else that would like to hit the link to give their opinion pertaining to the kidnapping and death of Cash Gernon and the baby boy who's left behind, Carter, excuse me. This child now doesn't have a twin brother. He's now reunited with his mother. How could that be going at this point? See, there's more to life than just the death of someone. It's also the people left behind to move on. And the one I care the most about is baby Carter. I don't really care about the grown people because I don't like what I'm seeing and hearing about them. But my main concern is the child that's left behind. And I always tell you all that. When there are other children involved, you all sometimes forget about those said kids. You forget about the ones who were left behind. What about them? because I hate to see a repeat. That's why I tell you to always stay woke. Because when you have people who already started in the gang file and now they're linked back up with the remaining children, God forbid we have a repeat of abuse and neglect with the remaining children. Oh, okay. Thank you, Crystal. Okay, that's fine, baby. So Karen says, I guess she's referring to the first video, that's Cameron in the first video that we saw that was in the black and white, the night vision video. Well, this is a harrowing story. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know when we will get more information pertaining to the forensic analysis. The child is still held out. I don't know when the body will be released so the parents can bury the child. I don't know how that's going to even work out. The mother has custody now, allegedly. She doesn't want the father to have any viewing of the child once the body's been released. This is just a very sick, morbid tale of childish adults who procreated. And frankly, I don't trust any of them. I don't trust them to do the right thing. I don't trust them to even do right by Carter. And that's my fear right now, is that this remaining child should not be with any of these people, because these people failed both he and his brother, and now they have jumped back in the loop, and the state has allowed them to reconvene in their lives. And I have a problem with that. I have a major problem with that, because we have heard of people losing custody of their children, getting custody back, and then we hear a story of somebody missing, somebody's deceased, somebody hurt, somebody choked, somebody beat. And it has also been revealed that Miss Sherrod lost her children at one point, and now 2 of her children have been taken out of her custody, obviously due to the death of Cash Gernon. So what does that tell you? So you can sugarcoat it and doll it up however you want. The facts speak for itself, themselves rather. If you go back and watch the video when Cameron came from out of nowhere to get back in bed in the middle of the night, he grabs his backside, making the odd noise. I don't know about that. I can't believe the state just gave the kid back. Yeah, found that odd myself. Carter, okay. Well, some of you are making accusations about the child's breeches, pants being changed in different scenes, from the night getting into the bed to when he wakes up and realizes his brother's not in the bed. He's wearing different pants. I'd have to go back and relook at that again to assess that allegation. But I'm not about to make any allegations of anything being done to Carter before entering that bed, because as I state, I don't have verification. Everything right now is some of you all's own speculation and assumptions. Where's the biological parents? They should be arrested for neglect. Well, that's what we're trying to tell you, Huda. You must not have been listening. Carter is back with the biological mother, allegedly. The same mother who dropped him and his brother off to the father a few years ago when he first got out of jail, prison or whatever. And he was living with his grandmother. And from my understanding, Ms. Sherrod says she's been a no-show, the biological mother, who's an alleged truck driver. Well, now that remaining child, twin, has been given over to her. So I don't even understand how that would work if she's a truck driver. That's why I said this story stinks. Stinks to high heaven. All of it stinks. Well, I'm going to check out of here. I want to thank you all for joining me. I want to thank you for supporting the channel, commenting. Those who came up on the panel, thank you so very much. Thank you for letting the Queen ask you questions, because that's what I do. Whenever you all give your opinion, I always like to ask you detail for detail, because I always want people to think about what they're saying when they come up with a theory, narrative, assumption about a crime. Because sometimes we say things, but we really don't think about what we're saying. And I just want you to, chop it up and think about what you're saying. Because sometimes we have to repeat what we're saying to see if it makes any sense to us. Because it's easy to assume things when we don't know everything. That is natural. But I don't want to be spreading vicious stories about this dead baby that has not been substantiated. So that's why I don't lean on any horrific rumors that are circulating out there allegedly pertaining to the child being touched. Because what you have to ask yourself is this: if I am to believe that 9 times out of 10, the perpetrator was also touching the other children, why stop at one? And that's just common sense. But if I ever get any information that has some validity to it, or comes out in a news outlet, I will bring you that said information. Any updates I get, I will bring it to you. But let's pray that the child body gets released. The child can be put to rest. So you're talking about 2 weeks. It's cruel to leave a body out that long. 3 days is the typical amount of time to get buried, depending on the funds that are available to have you buried. And 2 weeks is too long. So I'm praying the parents get the child, they can get to some agreement about burial, and everybody can move on, and we can get to the gist of who was in that room on that fateful morning, who all was involved, has knowledge thereof, aided in the kidnapping and the death of Cash Gernon. May all parties be brought to justice. And I do not want to look up, and it's fall, and we're still talking about who and why, because that will be just as cruel as the mess that's going on out in Bakersfield, California. I really believe that Darren is schizophrenic. He was talking to himself and he kept on staring at Cash. He had no fear at all. Well, he probably does have problems, Huda. And as I state, we don't have any verification of what his mental issues are because that information has not been revealed. As I told you, Metro Services service people with all types of issues: depression, schizophrenia, autism, mental, developmental issues, an assortment, of mental disorders. So we can't say, because nobody's come forward to say what actually is his issues, what his issues are, what he was treated for. Could have been depressed. Could be anything. Could be bipolar. Could be anything. Corliss says maybe Monica's dad did report it and CPS was coming. Could be. But as I state, Facebook is not the place for those type of allegations. If you have knowledge of a crime that may have taken place or know that a crime took place, you don't take it to Facebook. That's not the place for that. I think you all know that. Yes, Crystal, live by faith, not by sight. And on that note, I'm checking out. Donations to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. All super chats are welcome during the live. Thank you all for your support. This is Everyday Shenanigans.